Happy Mother's Day. So it's Mother's Day 2011. And over the last few weeks, I've been thinking about friendships that I've had with people. And some of those so-called friendships were kind of one-sided. And that's okay because you learn lessons from them and you move on. But some things have happened lately that had me thinking about the so-called friendships I had. And it brought me back to the time when my mother died when I was 20. And I realized that those who were supposedly my friends then, I guess at that age, not really understanding friendship as I have come to understand it now, that none of those people showed up at my mother's funeral. And it hit me one day, maybe last week, I was just thinking about some stuff from some shit that had happened that brought it full circle to me. And I was really thinking about that. And I realized that there was a common entity among those folks who I thought were supposedly my friends. They all had these really turbulent, or had these really turbulent mother-daughter relationships. So I wanted to talk about that today on Mother's Day. Wanted to get some things off my chest so I can go ahead and let it go. Not that I've been holding on to it, but it's been on my mind. I just wanted to talk about it with you, and something that I learned from thinking about all those instances in my life with those people who have these fucked up mother-daughter relationships. I mean, that's really the only way I can put it. No disrespect to them. I'm just thinking of the right word, and really that's what comes to mind is fucked up. So it pretty much is what it is. But I was just thinking about how I considered them to be so-called friends, how I've done a lot for these people. And I'm not, understand this, let me put this out here. I'm not making this video to gripe about it or be one of those people where I am saying, oh, I've done so much, then they never did. You know, I'm not doing that. I'm just laying it out the way I see it. They may have their own truth, I'm not sure. And this isn't like a get back video. I just want to talk about that with you. And you'll see my point as I go along. I realize that people who have these, male or female, have these turbulent relationships with their mother don't really have it in them to be a friend to you unless they get some counseling and deal with that. So they can be, but they've got to really work some things out. And I was thinking about that because I was like, if your mother screws over you, the person whose womb you came from, how can you really know how to interact with other people and really understand when you have really found someone who's in your corner who is a friend to you? How can you reciprocate that when your mother has not reciprocated what we in our society thinks a mother should to a child? You see what I'm saying? And I wanted to talk to people out there who may be going through this with folks who've had these turbulent relationships with their mother, that you have to be very careful. And I want to interject this. This was something my mother had told me before she passed because she saw some of my friendships. And she said that, not to dog them out, but she said you have to be very careful with people who have those types of relationships with my mother. And by the way, my mother was a counselor at middle school, so she kind of dealt in psychology and psychiatry and all of that. So I remember her telling me that and me just totally brushing it off because, you know, these are my girls. What are you saying? You know, at that age you think you know everything and you think the adults don't know shit. Come to find out years later they knew every damn thing. And if you had only listened, you would have saved yourself some uncomfortable moments. But I remember her saying, don't expect too much from them because of the fact that they've had these relationships with their mothers. And it takes time to get over that in life. And that's true. So when I was thinking about just what had happened, it brought me to the realization of that, of really thinking about it and what my mother had told me. There's no really sense in getting mad at them for not having reciprocated the friendship you gave to them. Because they didn't have it in them to really give to you because they'd never seen it. And when you don't see it from a mother, how do you know how to interact with people? That brings me to this point that I want to make. People need to realize, I think, if they're cut out for this thing called motherhood. Let me say this, as many of you know who follow me, I don't have kids. I think I'd be a good mother. But you know, the situation hasn't come up. I haven't had kids. That's cool. Um, but I think sometimes society puts the weight on women's minds that that's what has to happen to them to be fulfilled in this life. And we have to realize that no life is a mistake. No path is wrong. It may or may not be for you. And I think us as a society could save a lot of kids, a lot of heartbreak, and counseling sessions if we realize to ourselves if that role is meant for us. Accept what you realize and move on and know that it's okay. So that's what I want to talk about today on Mother's Day. That if you're dealing with people in your life who have not had a good relationship with their mother, because the mother is like the ultimate figure. That's whose womb you come from. That's who pushes you through. You know, that mother bond is something else. So when they haven't received the love and affection that we think one would receive from a mother, they can't give it to you, and therefore you can't blame them when they aren't able to reciprocate the love and friendship that you bestow upon them. It just is what it is. And I realized that, and after I realized that, thinking, damn, you know, just, you know, because when you start thinking about shit, you can get mad just thinking about shit. You work up all kinds of shit in your damn head. But it kind of freed me from being kind of pissed off about it, because that's when shit you can get pissed off about it, when you realize, when you really think about it, that your girl, your so-called down homies at that time were not at your mother's funeral. What is that about? But then you realize what it's about when you realize their own backgrounds. And I think sometimes we have to consider folks' backgrounds when it comes to their relationships with us. They just may not have it to give to you. And it's okay, because that's their path in life. That's a lesson you have to learn. You can move on and stay there. You know, whatever you want to do. But just realize it and stop expecting probably so much from people. Because at the end of the day, we're all human, coming from different human experiences. And living by those experiences. So that's my lesson for you today. I wanted to tell you on Mother's Day that sometimes folks don't have it to give to you. Realize if you're meant to be a mother or not. You can feel it. You know. You know, pretty much. You know what I'm saying? And if you realize that, don't allow society to trick you into thinking that that's the road you have to take to live a fulfilled life. That's what I want to talk about. So I hope you've had a great Mother's Day. I have. It's been really good. I spent it with my grandmother, who will be 95 next week. So I will be doing, you know, I had done some videos with her, so I will be doing some new videos with her and talking about just some of her life experiences again. Many of you all have expressed an interest in me continuing that series, so we'll get back on it next week. So I just wanted to bring that to you today, just some things that I was thinking about. Hopefully it's helped you out. Maybe you'll think about a situation you're going through and try to find some peace with it. Thank you for listening. As usual, so good to see y'all. Talk to you later. Bye.